For you new people, he'll be your best authority and best source of information on all things Immunocal. So with that, I could say a whole lot more about him, but I'd rather that you hear from him. So let me turn the call over to my good friend and yours, Dr. Jimmy Gutman. Welcome, Jimmy.
Thank you very much, John. It's a pleasure to be here. I enjoyed very much listening to Tracy. Thank you, Tracy, and of course my old friend John Molson. But between John Molson and you, John Solleder, and Keith Hooper, and a whole bunch of other faces that I recognize here tonight. Yeah, we've been doing this for a long time, and you're all still hanging around doing this, as you mentioned. Now, as you remember, some of you, that when we first started out talking about Immunocal and talking about glutathione, glutathione was a word that was still very strange and new in our everyday language. And I always said that soon glutathione would become a part and parcel of everybody's everyday language. And here we are in 2025, and it has happened. In the past couple of years, the majority of doctors have heard about glutathione. Much of the general public has heard about glutathione, which is really, it's wonderful. It's seeing your lifetime's work achieved. But there's still so many myths and mysteries that remain about our understanding of glutathione. And it shouldn't be, because if you go to a medical website like pubmed.gov. Now, this is a research site. It is the major site where you could find original articles in science and medicine. There's upwards of 200,000 articles just on glutathione. So this information is available to everybody. It's literally at the tips of your finger. If you're on a smartphone, it's at the end of your keyboard. If you're on a computer at home, everybody has access to this information. So these myths and mysteries, you would think, would be resolved by now, but they're not. Because most of what people watch on the internet are things that are produced by either marketing companies, people that have something they want to sell you, or just misinformation in general. And we end up paying more attention to what we see online through these powerful bodies than we do looking at actual and verifiable science. So I have been putting out a number of videos, and I'll give you the address of these videos in a moment. There's one video that I put out called Raising Glutathione for Health Professionals. So this is a little bit higher access than your average video, but I welcome you all to look at this. And it talks about raising glutathione, and it talks about things like the use of oral glutathione supplements and why that doesn't make sense. And it answers questions that most people wouldn't even think about asking. Where do glutathione supplements come from? No, it's something you never even thought of. It answers questions like, where do cysteine supplements come from? People just accept that these are natural products, but when you watch this video, you will probably be quite surprised where these things come from. It looks at things like Liposomal glutathione. Boy, if you look up glutathione now, you'll see so many marketing companies that are promoting liposomal glutathione, and you'll even see some doctors promoting liposomal glutathione. Does this supplement work? Well, there's actually only one paper on liposomal glutathione done in human beings. And this paper, and I'm sure even Tracy, who is a non-physician, but she's worked with the medical profession, will tell you that if you have one study and it's done with 6 people in each wing, 6 people in each wing of the study, and it's not even a placebo-controlled study, then this really is not from proof. It's far from proof. And the majority of doctors that recommend a product or a supplement for a patient, you need to be sure that there are gold standard studies showing that the supplement works. So by a gold standard study, I'm talking about a randomized, placebo-controlled, double-blinded study with statistically significant results. Go ahead and take these supplements yourself if you're a doctor and experiment with them. But if you're going to recommend them to a patient, then you need to be sure that these studies exist. And this is something that we have at Immunocal. And of course, I'm very biased towards Immunocal. I've been working with the company for 30 years. But the only reason that I'm working with Immunocal is because of the research that they've done. They're one of the few supplements that have these gold standard clinical trials done on their product. In fact, there's a book that John or Keith will tell you about that's available online, where there's almost a hundred studies published in some of the world's top medical journals talking about glutathione. So if you want to look at some of this work, I'm going to just share my screen for a second. Um, Hang on a second. There, can you all see that? Nod your heads.
We saw it before, and now we see your.
Oh, I thought I had that one figured out.
There
Okay,
you
here we
go.
go.
Grab,
Yeah.
everybody, grab your phones, take a quick picture of that so you got it.
Yeah, yeah. So the YouTube channel there is youtube.com slash Dr. Jimmy Gutman. Um, and the video that I'm talking about, looking at different ways of glutathione and which ones are valid and which ones are not, is right here. Although you're going to find many other videos on glutathione. But the three that I just want to talk about today briefly before we close up, and I won't be much longer, are these three: colds, flu, coronavirus, and glutathione. Glutathione and viral illness, and glutathione and the immune system. So those three videos will be particularly relevant to what I'm just going to tell you before we close off. Winter is coming, and with late fall and winter comes the flu season, and as well as a peak in COVID-19. We know from our experience in other parts of the world that usually start with these epidemics before it hits North America, that this year's flu is going to be a bad one. And this year's COVID is probably going to be pretty bad as well. Not as bad as in 2019, 2020, but it will be bad. But definitely the flu will be a bad one. And so some of you are going to go out and get your flu vaccine, and others of you are, I guess, what we call anti-vaccine, and you would never get a flu vaccine. Independent on what your opinion is on vaccines, the flu vaccine this year is not a very good match for the strain of the flu that is coming out. In other words, it will probably only give you a 10 or 15% rate of protection from the flu. So even if you do get the vaccine, your level of protection and security against catching the flu will be minor compared to some other previous years. So this is going to be a bad year for viral illnesses. Now, I have put together a number of videos on glutathione, raising glutathione, and these viral illnesses. I looked at the COVID, the coronavirus. Now, COVID-19 is different from coronavirus. There are many types of coronaviruses, and a couple of them are actually very common causes of the common cold. It's only the specific corona-19 virus that causes COVID-19. But other coronaviruses run endemic in our populations, and they do raise their ugly heads yearly. And this will be one of these years. And so we discuss how glutathione fights against coronavirus. We discuss how glutathione fights against many other strains of the common cold. We discuss about how glutathione will offer you major protection against the flu. And what gives me the right, I guess, or authority to extrapolate between the roles of glutathione and the roles of Immunocal is that Immunocal has actually published its own studies in viral illnesses. Of course, we started looking at viral illnesses and Immunocal way back in the 80s and 90s, even before we launched as a company. And we have obtained an American patent and world patents for Immunocal, the product Immunocal, for the treatment of AIDS and HIV-related illnesses. A patent for a natural product that will protect you or even treat you. I shouldn't say treat. I'm on a public venue now, and natural products aren't supposed to talk about treatments, but the patent is out there for the treatment of AIDS. And we were taking AIDS patients and we were showing a decrease in their viral loads, sometimes down to zero. We were showing increases in certain parameters that we measure in AIDS, something called the CD4 lymphocyte count, which is a type of white blood cell that's gone bad in AIDS. We've done studies in hepatitis A, we've done studies in hepatitis B, we've done studies in hepatitis C. So here's my statement that I'm going to close off with. When we look at natural products, and there are many that talk about immune defense and being good against colds, there is not a single molecule more effective and more powerful to act as an antiviral agent than glutathione. So that's the bottom line, and I guarantee you that, and if you look up the research, you will find that out as well. So to health, and I wish you a happy and healthy Christmas, Hanukkah, or whatever else is you put up with in December. Wishing you well. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Gutman, as always, extraordinary. And Dr. Gutman, a little bit, if you will, on your books and where they can get them. We've got a lot of new people on the call today.
Yes, I published a number of books. The latest one, if you put in Glutathione and Gutman, you will find it on Amazon. So Amazon's probably the easiest way to get my book.
Did you think 30 years ago when Howdy McDaddy, one of our good friends and distributors, and he was one of Dr. Gutman's patients, came into your office and said, "You're going to read all this stuff," that it would change your life?
Yeah, I was ready to throw him out of the office, but as you know, Howdy's a Golden Glove boxing champion, so I decided for my health, I should listen to what he says, and thank God I did.
Well, thank God for all of us, Dr. Gutman, because you've been a blessing to all of our families with our health all these years. So thank you for what you've done. Tracy, thank you for your contribution today as well. I mean, these are things, look, we're all going through different things. I'm looking on the call here. I know some of your family circumstances that are going on right now. I know some of the things that are going on in your lives and happened the last year. I know what's going on in my life. So totally relevant subject. And more importantly, how do we move past it, right? Because the human condition is always to improve ourselves and improve our environment. So thank you. And John, of course, is on an airplane right now, but thank you, John Molson. But hey, we got two other little cameos real fast here. One knows I'm calling on them. The other doesn't know I'm calling on them. But, two people were here when I got here 29 years ago. And they were the two of the people who had the fortitude and the sense to listen to Dr. Gutman and Dr. Bunos and Dr. Kongshaven and find out about this brand and this product that 30 years later, hard to believe that we're still not only marketing it, but still part of this. But I want to just recognize them and let you hear from them briefly, and then we'll wrap up. So first of all, out to beautiful, warm, and sunny, now I'm lying, probably cold as you know what, Alberta. Sandra Walper, how are you, hon? I think you're muted. There you go.
Hi, everyone. Wow, what a great call, John. So it's been quite an extensive journey here with the Immunotech. Actually, it's minus 25 with the wind in Red Deer right now, Dr. Gutman. So, I just want everybody to know that, on December 10th, 96, I met Dr. Gutman in Montreal, and I think maybe Dr. Gutman, there was 8 or 10 of us at Chuck Roberts' house that day. And we were kind of there before the company was a company. And what a privilege it's been to not only have the opportunity to work with you over all these years, but to see, like you said, glutathione evolve in all of this stuff that's out there. And I have to tell you that, if I wouldn't have had your training and Dr. Bunos's training and John Molson's training, there can be a lot of noise, especially, they've got glutathione IVs, they got glutathione patches, they got glutathione pills now, and glutathione spray and glutathione cream and glutathione everything. And, it's just crazy. And if everybody just stays the course, reads the research, Dr. Gutman, and follows the path, I think that we have a lot of bright futures ahead. I know it's been an incredible journey for myself and Carl, and it takes new people to keep on the legacy of Dr. Bunos and Dr. Droge and yourself and Dr. Kongshaven and John Molson, because, we've all been doing this gig for 30 years. And as Tracy talked about burnout, some of us are a little burnt out. And I just want to thank you for your time. 30 years of your time is very appreciative. Really respect you a lot. So thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Knowing you has also been as big a pleasure.
Great. Well, thank you, Sandy. And once again, for those of you new, because we have some new folks on the phone today, okay? My friend Mr. Money is on the phone out in Los Angeles, for example, and he's brand new to Immunotech. He just literally got his product on Wednesday. We went through the product together. So we have new folks on the call as well. We've got some other ones too. I don't know everybody, and just for the sake of time, I promised everybody 90 minutes. I know it's a holiday weekend in a lot of places. So, but to that point, okay? If you want longevity, if you want to play the long game in business, you got to have a product that's sustainable. Well, one of the other individuals that I met some 29 years ago on my end that was here when I got here, as well as Dr. Gutman and the other folks that I mentioned, of course, is my upline and good friend, Mr. Keith Hooper, is running the back end of the call today. So hopefully he can talk and just give a couple of his brief thoughts here for his almost now 30 years of service to Immunotech as well. Keith?
Well, thank you, John. Thank you, Dr. Gutman. Really appreciate all that you guys have given us all these years. I mean, it's just been absolutely incredible what we've seen, okay? And what we've seen over these 30 years is what the science says Immunocal does, we see in the people that use it, okay? That's the reality of it. You know, when we looked at that science all the years ago before the product was ever available, it was a patent of use for something we're not allowed to talk about, okay? That's that word that everybody fears. It starts with a letter C, okay? And that had affected a number of my family. Well, the research said, you got a better, it's a good idea to use this product. Well, that's what we did, but we didn't expect that my wife, Sandra, who had terrible allergies, I mean horrible, okay? She's married to a farmer, and she's allergic to dust. She's allergic to everything imaginable. Okay, including the allergy medications. Okay, we get Immunocal, and in literally less than 2 weeks, her allergies are gone. That was January of 1997. Now, this is something that nothing ever worked on. So allergies, somebody say, well, you know, we always talk about these terrible diseases. Well, I want to tell you, if you suffer from allergies, it's a terrible disease. I don't have it. I don't suffer from allergies. Okay, it's kind of like stress, as Tracy was talking about. I don't suffer from stress. I've always just been referred to as a carrier of it. But, you know, with what you've done, Dr. Gutman, what John Solleder's done, what Dr. Barry has done, what all of you that are on this call have been here all these years, we all know that if someone uses our Immunocal product, the one thing we can guarantee them is a better quality of life. Don't know how much longer you're going to live. Can't tell you that. Don't know what it's going to do for you exactly. But we do know it's going to give you that quality of life. Why? Because that's what the science says. And I was always going back in the days with Dr. Bunos, Jimmy, you'll appreciate this, Dr. Gutman. We got the longevity studies on the animals. And the animals live 30% longer, 30 to 50% longer, the little mice, than whatever. And I got that fax. And I was on the phone with Dr. Gutman, or Dr. Bunos, and I says, Dr. Bunos, that's wonderful. When are we going to see the human studies? And I'm in California, and he's in Montreal, and I can visualize him leaning back in his chair as he laughs at me. And he says, Keith, longevity studies in humans take 50 years. Do you really want to wait for the research? Well, you know what? I am. January, 30 years of using Immunocal, 20 more years, we're going to have something to really look at, Dr. Gutman. I mean, seriously, that's what you guys want to think about. Think about the people you care about. Get them on the product. Let them experience. Let them have that understanding of what it is. Understand that what Dr. Gutman's bringing to you. Go get his books, because they're literally the dictionary of the disease, of the concerns, the dis-ease that people have, and what Immunocal will do if they use it. And that's what you want to be looking at. So with that, thank you guys for being here with this. As always, Mr. Solleder, thank you for putting this all together and bringing all the great people here today.
Well, listen, hey, look, we got a great product, and you know, I think of something real quick here, just in wrapping up. You know, as some of you know, amongst other things, I do a lot of copywriting, and 29 years ago, I remember interviewing Dr. Gutman, Dr. Bunos, Dr. Kongshaven, and that constituted the first sales letter. And what happened with that first sales letter is we wound up with literally several thousand people that joined Immunotech over the next year. Everybody used a sales letter and a tape and everything else that we did. But rather than getting into the history of that, without that foundation, without the foundation of Dr. Gutman, Bunos, Kongshaven, and John Molson. John's a layman, of course. He's not a doctor, but those four people, and of course, you know, the other people, Dieter Beer, Chuck Roberts, some of the other people that were involved. But that built a great company. But more importantly, it built a legacy of a brand. And it actually took this word glutathione that nobody knew. And today, when I look on the internet and I see, you know, glutathione, and to Dr. Gutman's point, most of it not anything you'd want to take. But at the end of the day, you all created that. okay? Something nobody knew about that is helping a lot of people to get aware of. You all did that, and I'm proud of that. You know, in all the years I've been in marketing and sales and all the success that we've been blessed to have, I look at that as one of the things that'll be on my tombstone is this guy helped to bring glutathione to market, and so did all of we on this call. So thank you all for being here. Thank you especially Dr. Gutman and Tracy for speaking, and thank you all for being here because I know it's still a holiday weekend here in the United States. And I know when we take holidays, I know you Canadians just think like you guys can too. So you're probably enjoying Thanksgiving. I know the other day when I was talking to Molson, he had the football game on too. So I know he was watching football at the same time. So anyway, thank you all. Have a great balance of your weekend.
All right, everybody's unmuted if they happen to have anything they want to share. Thanks as we go into this holiday season. We really thank all of you very much. So
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Hey,
thank you, everybody.
If you do
Really.
have, by the way, if you do have questions for Tracy, just put them in the chat there, and Keith will record them and send them over to Tracy as well. There, he'll have the recording.
Absolutely. Italian, love your hair job. Love your hair, dear. There you go. There you go. Hey, there's Don Hutchinson in Spain. Or is he in Ireland? Or is he in the UK? Or is he in Germany? Or where is he?
No, that's what you have to guess, right? I'm not sure where I am half the time, but I just want to reiterate what everybody else has said, and I'm glad that Jimmy Gutman's still on the call. Jimmy has been, as you have, Keith, as John, you have, and as John Molson has, been the most responsible, intelligent, caring people in my 30 years of experience in network marketing that have been available and willing to come forward virtually immediately in response to questions, whether they're simple and they think that's a simple question, but I'll give Don the answer anyway, right? Or complex and give it the time and consideration. And you've all given people the time and consideration for them to be better people. And I think just hold that in your heart, because I'm a baby in this business. 10 years, John called me 10 years ago, over 10 years ago, 2014, but started in the business in 2 months' time, January 2015. And anyway, I'm not saying we've got halos over our heads, but what I am saying is we should all give thanks for everything that's happened, for the connections we've made and have been given and shared with us. And then, as someone once said, if much has been given, much is expected. Mm-hmm. So we need to give that back. So thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Tom.
All right. Well, with that, thank you, boys and girls. You youngins, as I should say. You children. Have a wonderful day and have a great December. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.